Thank you so much.
Sahasrabuddhe, political acumen, cultural leadership, and are committed to public service with deep roots in India's national ideology. Dr. Sahasrabuddhe is a distinguished political scholar, senior BJP leader, and cultural ambassador of India. He served as a member of parliament from 2016 to 22 representing Maharashtra and was the national vice president of Bharatiya Janata Party from 2014 to 20. Since 2018, he has led the Indian Council for Cultural Relations as its president, contributing significantly to India's cultural diplomacy. Dr. Sahasrabuddhe is known for his intellectual contributions and strategic roles in BJP, including chairing the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Education, Women, Children, Youth and Sports. His political journey began with Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, where he served as a full-time activist and national secretary. He played a vital role in BJP's think tank and was an instrument in training BJP ministers and shaping key policies. He has authored several influential books including Beyond the Billion Ballot and The Innovation Republic, which highlighted governance innovations under Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. Presently, he is the Vice Chairman of Rambhau Mahalgi Prabodhini, a research and training academy for elected representatives. Together to welcome Sahasrabuddhe. It's my privilege.
Very generous introduction of mine. My friend and minister in the state government, Shri Rakesh Singh ji, the man at the center of this entire exercise, who has been painstakingly working for promoting the idea of united consciousness, academic, scholar, Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar ji, other dignitaries on the dais, Shri Vibhuti Jha ji from the United States of America, Mr. Jos de Block from Netherlands, Mr. Michiko Hayashi from Japan, Dr. Andrei Lebanov from Russia, Grandmother Cialtus from Australia, Swami Shankarananda Giri from Ghana, Africa, and all those delegates who have come from various parts of India and those who have come from several countries abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, for me, coming to the United Consciousness is kind of a routine. I don't know, but this must be the 5th or 6th time that I am addressing a conclave of the United Consciousness. And therefore, for me, it's like homecoming, because many faces are very familiar. We have interacted earlier as well, and we know each other fairly well. But today's event, where we have been discussing about global peace and harmony, it's something very relevant because of the current situation all over the world. Let me tell you that peace is a very profound concept. It is not just absence of noise. It is not just rising above the clutter. Peace is also something which is about integrating your mind and your body, your action and your intent, the way you walk and the way you talk. If all these things come together, I believe real peace of mind, or the Atma Shanti, if I may use the Sanskrit term, perhaps could be achieved. And in fact, I have a suggestion rather, that the name of this initiative is United Consciousness. But Professor Vikrant Tomar would agree with me that within the idea of united, I think there is an element of integrity as well. Because without being integrated, you cannot think about remaining united. And remaining united is not just kind of coming together of different people. It is also bringing all our minds and our thought processes together And in that sense, I believe it is integration. In that context, I would say that when we talk about peace, when we talk about united consciousness, we also will have to talk about our emotional quotient, our spiritual quotient, moving beyond the intellectual quotient, which people know very well. And in that context, if I may bring to your notice few points which are cardinal, I believe so, insofar as our inner peace and also the outer peace is concerned. First of all, we will have to have the approach of Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. I am sure people who have come from abroad are also quite conversant with this philosophy, which has originated in India, which says that the truth is one, but it is being described by the wise men differently, which is why it appears different, but otherwise the truth is one. Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. This is the cornerstone of Indian idea of spiritual democracy. Because unfortunately, whether in the Middle East or in the North, in Europe, the conflicts that we are seeing today have their origin in the weird idea of supremacy. Whether I am superior to you or you are superior to me. I believe the idea of superiority in the context of spiritual democracy loses its relevance because we say Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. There is absolutely no conflict. Every other way is equally valid. Every other way is equally acceptable. Because we are all striving to achieve the same spiritual objective, which is that of Ekam Sat, or the one and the only truth. Once we accept that, I believe, all the apparent differences could very well be appreciated, managed and understood as well. Because the differences that we have, today there was this earth ceremony and we brought some soil representing our own countries. And we created what could be described as the model of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, again coming from Indian philosophy. The soil may have come from different countries, but it was brought together because the apparent diversity that is there globally, as what we observe, is just, as per our consideration, the diverse manifestation of our innate unity. We are united and therefore we are diverse. It is not the other way around. Our unity takes a different shape when it comes to manifestation in different languages, in different subcultures, if I may put it that way, different lifestyles. And therefore let us not get unduly enamored by the diversity. Of course, I must mention over here that in the era of globalization, we find that there is some attempt, I would say, towards some kind of homogenization. I would put it in this way, that it is cultural flattening of the world. The world is flat, said Thomas Friedman, the noted writer who talked about post-globalized world. Yes, in the context of economy, we appreciate the flattening of the world because that flattening of the world provides you equal level playing field, which is acceptable. But culturally, if we keep on speaking in the same language, singing in the same song, eating the same kind of food, wearing same kind of apparels, I believe it will be the death knell of diversity. And the world would be perhaps less beautiful than what it is if that diversity disappears. And therefore, while Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti will have to be appreciated from one angle, it will also have to be appreciated from the other angle, because we want this diversity to continue, which has contributed to the beauty of the entire world. Friends, we are also facing the threat of extreme individualism, which we are seeing globally. There is there are several examples of how wokeism, as what they call, is in fact hampering the global good of the humankind. And if we have to remain away from this wokeism, what we have to do is strike a balance between individualism and collectivism. Of course, we understand the importance of individuality, individualism, privacy, private space, everything. But then all of us are eventually, as Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam tells us, are members of one single family. Remove that family and it becomes a fragmented society. In the name of individuality, we don't want fragmentation to be seen all around, because fragmentation will weaken our unity and hamper the unitedness of our consciousness. And therefore, while individualism, individuality, privacy, private space, the freedom of choice are all very welcome, let us not stretch them to that extent that it will in a way damage our social fiber and our social unity. That is another important thing I just would like to share with you. Friends, for all these things to be digested, we will have to overcome 4 critical crises, challenges that humanity is facing. I just mentioned them for want of time, but I think it is my duty to bring them to your notice. The first crisis that we are facing is the crisis of purpose. Are we doing whatever we are doing for a particular cause, or we are wandering without any purpose, without any specific objective before our eyes? Something to ponder over. Crisis of purpose gives birth to another crisis, which is the crisis of authenticity. Today, everything appears very tentative. We are very uncertain. We say in our normal conversations also that somebody is saying so, but I don't know whether he will do that, because there is an element of doubt, element of suspicion. Because again, that integrity between our actions and whatever we are saying is losing very fast, and therefore the crisis of authenticity. The third is the crisis of ownership. We have to take ownership of our own, our life, our body, our thinking. We are all responsible for that. We cannot put the blame on something else. At the same time, we have to take care, we have to own our near ones and dear ones in our families, our society, our vicinity, our city, our country, and finally our world as well. That is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And lastly, there is a crisis of relationship. The breakage of relationship is all around. Today we are not acutely relating ourselves with even Mother Nature. Including our relationship with Mother Nature, we have to have relationships, very strong relationships within our family, within the society, within the vicinity, within the institutions, and within this universe as well. And for that we will have to invest. Without investment, relations will not blossom. They will not flourish. And therefore, if we take care of all these crises, I am sure we will be able to achieve what all of us are trying, is the unitedness. I hope that this unitedness of our consciousness will eventually lead to a better world as reality. Thank you very much.